they affect everybody. The biggest thing everybody's heard about is the $1,200 rebate. And what we're looking for in the $1,200 rebate is for you as an individual to be able to go through and get this money. Now, the federal government has stated that the US Treasury starting April 13th are going to start issuing 5 million checks a week until they pay off all of these. And you as a taxpayer have to really not do that much, because either you're going to be getting paid based on your 2019 tax return if you were able to file it on time, or you're going to get it in your 2018 based on your 2018 numbers, but it's still going to be contingent when you file your 2019. Okay? What does that mean? If I worked and I qualify in 2019 and I file my tax return, the check will come to me either in the mail, or if I did direct deposit, it'll come directly into my bank account. If I did my 18 and the government looks at the numbers and I qualify, but I did not file my 2019 1040, don't worry, you're still going to get the check. But if in 2019 you made too much money, okay, and you're above the $99,000 or $200,000 for married filing jointly, you're technically not qualified, and the government's going to want you to pay taxes or give them the money back. Our recommendation is for people to file their taxes, but at the same time, if you didn't, it's no big deal. If you are below these thresholds, you're going to get the check. For every dependent that's 17 years or younger that's sitting on your tax return, they're going to get you $500 a piece, which is a pretty good thing considering our community has a lot of kids. For the elderly or anybody receiving Social Security benefits, in the past, the government wanted you to file a tax return even though you were below the filing requirement to get this rebate. That rule has been reversed. You really don't have to do anything. The government will be able to give you that rebate as long as you have a US address and don't reside overseas. The nice part, also part of this, is they didn't forget about adopted kids. If an adopted child is part of your family, they will also be able to give you the $500 of rebate. If you do not have a direct deposit and you would like to do a direct deposit, you can actually go to the IRS's website and see if you can put in your information so the government will mail you, will not mail you a check, will deposit the money into your account. The difference is usually about 7 to 10 days. So if you really, really need this money, we recommend you do a direct deposit. If not, just wait and the check will come from the US Treasury. Again, we really want people to file their tax returns on time and not to think that they shouldn't file their tax returns. I already mentioned that the fact that the states are not going to be in all alignment. So depending on which state you reside in, you need to check to see what's their deadline, because it will not necessarily match what the IRS has. Okay? The Washington Post actually created a very nice calculator, and when you get this PowerPoint, you guys can click on it and it'll show you literally how, if you qualify or not for this rebate. Now, let's get into a couple of other things. The filing deadline we already talked about. All of this I think I already mentioned in my presentation, so I'm going to go through and skip it. Okay, charitable contributions. If you donate $300 to your masjid during Ramadan and you do not itemize your deductions anymore because you get the $12,000 or $24,000 standard deduction, the first $300 is now tax deductible. So that means I'm hoping you guys will be more generous, because God knows everybody's going to need a lot of help. But this is something that was passed in the CARES Act that benefits basically every taxpayer regardless of income.
Joey, is that per organization, $300?
It is per taxpayer, unfortunately.
Oh, per taxpayer, okay.
Okay. If you happen to be an individual who is very charitable, you can actually deduct up to 100% of your adjusted gross income and claim the deduction. So that's a different thing, because you'll be able to itemize. So Shahid, let me just explain again. If you get the standard deduction and you're going to donate a couple of $100, in the past, you don't get that because the standard deduction is higher than your itemized deduction. Now you can have your cake and eat it too. You get the standard deduction, and up to the first $300 in donations, you get that now knocked off your tax return. If you're a very philanthropic individual and you want to donate a lot, you can literally donate 100% of your adjusted gross income, and it'll all be deductible for tax purposes. If you happen to be a student, the what do you call it? Federal student loans, right now they said you don't have to pay them until September 30th, 2020, which is very good. And interest will not accrue on your loan. So it's very good from that standpoint. And employers can also prepay the employee student loans without it being included in their taxable income. So if you work for a very nice boss who has a lot of money and you're a student, you can say, hey, don't give me my bonus, put this money towards my student debt, and you won't even be taxed on it. The next big thing that we really get a lot of questions on is unemployment benefits. Minnesota tends to be very generous. And if you see on the slide, when we compare it to where I reside in Virginia, the state gives you a maximum weekly benefit of $693. But wait, the federal government is actually going to add another $600 to that amount for the next periods all the way up to July 31st, 2020. So again, you can, if you're unemployed, and if you're self-employed, you can still be unemployed if you don't have a job, and therefore you will go to DEED or Human in Minnesota, apply for unemployment benefits, and the federal government will give the Minnesota Unemployment Office another $600 to give to you all the way to July 2020. So it's very, very important for you, if you're self-employed again and you're out of work, don't fret, file. And you can do this online, and we have the website for you later on that you can use to submit online for these benefits. And these start effective April 1st, and they will finish on July 31st. Okay. Other miscellaneous benefits is that if you know of someone that is on the SNAP programs, they're creating emergency or free reduced meals. HUD has suspended all foreclosures and evictions for the next 60 days. If you happen to be an individual who is sick and you need money for whatever reason, you can take money up to $100,000 out of your 401k or retirement plan, and you will not have to be subject to any early withdrawal penalty. And if you are an older individual and your entire portfolio just went south, and you're above 70 and a half years, you have something called RMD, required minimum distributions, you don't have to take them anymore. And that way, again, it'll help you. The resources that we have, including the second to last one at the bottom, is where you can apply for unemployment benefits. You also have here the SBA application for the EIDL is at the top, and then all the way at the bottom is the patient protection program, paycheck protection program, that gives you the application form. That currently now is outdated. If you're going to apply for the PPP, please go and speak to your existing bank. Do not shop it, because all the banks are overwhelmed. With that